Okay, so I have the GH-12 casting in the chuck at the moment here, and it's just held in really quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to straighten this out as best we can, and we want to get it about as level as we can. So what we'll do is we'll bring up our tailstock here, and I'm going to use this, lock it down, to kind of press myself straight. So it should be relatively level. We're touching all the way around on that center. So now we want to get ourselves centered up on that bore as best we can. So what I'm going to do right now is just use my tool here, and we're just going to come in, and I'm just using this as a pointer for right now. Alright, so we have to go that way. Just using this to kind of get near, and we have to go that way. Alright, at least that gives us somewhere in the neighborhood so we can get an indicator in that. And now this is a casting, so we're going to be splitting differences, but we should be able to reach in. This inside edge is a little more. Okay, so I averaged everything. I averaged the bore center, and I also averaged our face this way. And we need to bore this out to 1 3/4 inches, and we are at about 1 3/8 inches. So we got something to come out of there. Let me grab some paper towels or something to cover my ways. Let's put a rag under here. All right. One inch 440. 550. Alrighty, that should be pretty much it, or if not, extremely close. So, now this is a band that acts like a clamp, so it doesn't need to be supremely close, but as long as we're within a couple. Right now I got 1 inch, 751, so we're good there. As this is going to be up here, is going to end up being split for a clamping screw, so we're good there. So now what I want to do is face this, take just enough off to clean this up so I have a flat spot that is perpendicular to this bore, so when we lay this in the mill, or we have something to clamp on. Okay, so camera ran out of battery, so I just recharged it, but I finished facing that side off. I flipped it around and faced that side off. So now these are both nice and flat. We're over at the mill, and what we want to do right now is make a flat reference surface on both sides here so we can get everything where we need it. This needs to be taken down a little bit according to the drawings, and we want a nice flat surface here to put on a parallel, and a nice flat surface here so everything's nice and square, and that in the middle. So what we're going to do is use this outside edge. Now if you can kind of see there, this is curved but this is relatively straight. So what we're going to do is just use that outside edge here, and I'm going to clamp that in our vise, and then we're going to get that as close as possible there and tighten our vise down. So that's pretty good there. So what we're going to do is take 25 thousandths off of this side, flip it around, take 25 thousandths off of the other side. Alright, we're just nicking the outside there. I'm going to set 0 on my knee. And there's my 25. Okay, so I have a nice flat reference surface there. Alright, so now what we want to do is we need to straighten this and straighten this lip here and reduce the thickness of this little step here. So now we know that this side and this side are perpendicular to each other and where we want them to be, so we're just going to use our straight edge here, and we are going to put that right up against that. And so we have no gap on that side, and we have no gap on that side. Alright, so perfectly vertical. We can flatten this out, this face here, and then we can take this face down. I believe it's 1 inch from here to this shelf here. So let's get this squared first, and then we can measure down to that edge. Alright, we're touching that. Let's take off 10. I'm just trying to take as little as possible off of here, just to get it nice and flat. That only took about 20 to clean up. Call that nice and square. So now I'm going to measure from here to here and see what we got, and see if I can. Looks like its lowest spot is right here. It says 1 inch 150 right there. 1 inch 340. So I have plenty to be able to just clean this up. Let me get you back in the frame here. And this web needs to be 400 thousandths thick, and we're at 424. So I got about 25 thousandths to take off the width here, and I'm going to take as little off of that ledge as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here. Alright, we're really close to touching in the back, but I'm not touching this yet. What I want to do first is just get my depth correct, or clean this up just until this ledge cleans up, and then I'll take this piece down to its size. So you can see we were high in the middle as compared to the ends. Okay, so now we're going to come in till the back touches. I'm just nicking there, so we're going to take 25 off of that. Okay, so I just made a mistake. I didn't realize that the lock had come off of my quill. And we made a slight little dip right here, but we didn't, it's more cosmetic than anything. I'm not really concerned about that. So that's totally my fault, getting ahead of myself and not checking my things, you know. It's very easy to make a mistake. Alright, and looking at the plans, this side here doesn't really, it says that this is 3.5 inches long from here to here, and 1 inch from here to here. If I take this down to 1 inch, I'm not going to have 3.5 from here to here. And this actually here doesn't really interface with anything. There's a block that sits on this that's adjustable, so it doesn't matter if this is long. So we're going to leave that. And if during the assembly I need to take some of that down, I can. Alright, I'm getting set up to drill 2 slotted holes in this, so I need to find this edge and this edge here. Okay, so as far as I could tell in the plans, they had these slotted out for a 1/4-20 screw, and that interfaced with another rather large hunk of metal. The 1/4-20 screw seemed a little bit small to me, and you could very easily get a 5/16 screw in the mating part. So I'm using a 5/16 screw instead of a 1/4 inch screw. But I'm still using a 1/4 inch end mill, and I'm just stepping over 25,000, actually stepping over 30 thousandths each way once I get it in there, and that gives me plenty of clearance and gives me a nice slotted hole for a nice socket head cap spool. It's holding in this large piece here, and there's no reason why this huge thing needs to be held in with such a small screw, as far as I could tell. Again, so, the way these plans are written, I'm kind of interpreting things as we go. So what we're going to do is, I already did one and that worked out fine, and we're going to basically plunge in here, do our slot, and then step over 30 that way and then 30 back this way. So lock the quill. And there's our other slot. So now I can get a nice 5/16 screw in there. Well, that seems a little more kosher to me than a little 1/4 inch screw. So now we need to drill the pinch bolt on the end and split it. Okay, so now we got to drill through here for a 1/4-20 bolt, and we're going to drill all the way through, and then we're going to drill halfway through with a clearance drill. So what I need to do right now is, I already edge found the center this way, and I kind of eyeballed the center from this edge to this edge. Basically I just need enough to make sure that I get that cap head screw to get in there, which I do. So right now we're just going to spot that. Stand to go a little bit that way. That looks pretty centered up. And we're gonna get my tap drill for 1/4-20 in here. And we're gonna drill straight through. Now we're going to get our clearance drill to 17/64. And we're just going to come off here, and we're going to eyeball our center right there. And we can use our depth stop on our mill here, and we can hold that. And there we go. We're going to come back to our 0. And we're going to drill down to our stop. Wind our stop all the way back down again. Alright, here's our tap. Does that tap look like crap? Okay, that's tapped 1/4 20. Now what we need to do is split this at the halfway mark. So let me set up a slitting saw. Okay, so I have a slitting saw in here. We're marked halfway. We're halfway in between, and we're going to slice right through this. I got my mill in back gear, and I'm going to hand feed this. And there she is, slit. Okay, so there it is, all set, and with the clamp bolt in place, and you can see there's my clearance, goes in my threads on the other side of that. So we're all set with this piece. Like I said, I just had a little hickey there. That's my fault, but it shouldn't affect very much. The next piece we're going to do is going to be this piece, which interfaces with this in something like that. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you on the next installment in this series.